You're running late, you pull into a tight parking spot, throw the car into park while it's still creeping forward like you've done 1,000 times, and you think nothing of it. Then, 3 weeks later, your car won't move. You're at the dealership. The guy behind the counter slides a paper across the desk and just stares at you. $4,000 for transmission. And here's the kicker. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't a manufacturer defect. It was you, slowly, quietly destroying your own transmission with habits you didn't even know were dangerous. Welcome to Auto Mastery. And today we're going through 8 driving habits that are silently wrecking automatic transmissions. And I promise you, by the time we hit number 3, you'll be genuinely shocked at how many people do it every single day. Let's get into it. You pull into a tight parking spot. You're still rolling backward just a tiny bit, and you say, close enough, and yank it into drive. Yeah, that's a problem. Here's why. When you do that, your transmission is basically forced to do the car's brakes job. The internal clutches grab onto the drivetrain to stop that momentum, and that's not what they're designed for. Every time you do it, you're wearing down those clutch packs and contaminating the transmission fluid with debris. Do it enough times, and that fluid turns into something that looks more like a brown smoothie than a lubricant. The fix? Dead simple. Come to a complete stop first, always, even if it adds 2 seconds to your life. Your transmission will thank you for it. Real talk. Have you actually changed your transmission fluid? Because a lot of manufacturers out there have this cute little phrase on their service schedules. They call it lifetime fluid, as in you never need to change it. That is some of the most misleading advice in the automotive world. Here's the reality. Transmission fluid breaks down over time. Stop-and-go traffic, heat cycles, load stress, it all degrades the fluid's ability to protect moving parts. And get this, data from 2025 shows that regular fluid changes can prevent up to 73% of major transmission failures. 73%? That's not a small number. The real-world recommendation from most experienced mechanics? Change it every 40 to 80,000 miles, depending on how hard you drive. And before you say, but it looks fine, transmission fluid doesn't tell you it's failing by turning black like engine oil. It just quietly stops protecting things until one day it doesn't. And that's when you meet the $4,000 piece of paper. Okay, this is the one. This is number 3. And I know some of you are going to push back on this, but hear me out. A lot of drivers, especially people who learned on manual cars, have this habit of shifting into neutral at a red light to save the transmission. It feels smart. It feels like you're giving the gearbox a break. You're not. Modern automatic transmissions are designed and engineered to sit in drive while stopped. The torque converter handles the load. It's not stressed. It's literally just doing its job. But every time you shift to neutral and then back to drive, you're engaging and disengaging clutch surfaces for absolutely no reason. Over thousands of miles, that unnecessary wear adds up significantly. So next time you're at a red light, just stay in drive. Foot on the brake. That's it. That's the whole tip. And hey, if this is already saving your wallet, give this video some love and smash that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this info before they learn it the expensive way. This one matters especially if you're somewhere with actual winters. Modern engines don't need 5 minutes of warm-up like your grandfather's 1972 Buick. That's true, but here's what people forget. The engine warming up and the transmission warming up are 2 completely different things. Transmission fluid gets thick in the cold, like genuinely thick, and when it's thick, it doesn't flow properly through all those tight channels and passages in the gearbox. Mechanics will tell you, just give it 1 to 2 minutes before you drive, and then take it easy for the first few miles. Light acceleration, no aggressive merging. Research actually suggests this simple habit alone can extend transmission life by 20 to 30% over time. 1 to 2 minutes. That's less time than it takes to scroll through your morning notifications. We touched on this in the intro, but this one deserves its own spotlight because the damage is so specific and so brutal. Inside your transmission, there's a tiny metal component called the parking pawl. It's basically a small pin that drops into a notch on a gear to lock the output shaft and hold your car in place. When you slam into park while the car is still moving, even slowly, that pawl takes the entire kinetic force of the vehicle. It was never designed for that. It's designed to hold a stationary car, not stop a moving one. When that pawl snaps, you don't just replace the pawl, you tear down the entire transmission to get to it. Repair costs for that job in 2025? Easily $2,500 to $5,000 depending on your vehicle. Seriously, come to a full stop, then park. This one surprises people because most drivers think park gear is their parking brake. It's not, and this matters most on any kind of incline. When you just throw it into park on a hill without using the handbrake, all the weight of the vehicle is pressing directly on that tiny parking pawl we just talked about. Every minute it sits there, it's under load. Here's the correct sequence, and yes, the order matters. Stop the car, shift to neutral, apply the parking brake, then shift to park. That way, the parking brake handles the weight, and the park gear is just a backup. The pawl barely has to work. Simple habit, massive difference in long-term transmission health. Please don't. When you spin the wheels like that, especially in an automatic, the transmission generates a massive amount of internal heat in a very short amount of time. We're talking temperatures that can literally melt seals, warp clutch material, and degrade fluid almost instantly. Transmission repair costs in 2025 are running anywhere from $1,200 all the way up to $7,000, depending on what breaks. And a heat event from a single stuck-in-the-snow incident can cause damage that doesn't show up until weeks later. The right move? Sand, kitty litter, traction mats, or the slow rocking technique. Gentle forward, gentle reverse. Let physics help you instead of torching your gearbox. Last one, and this is sneaky because it feels totally harmless. You're in a long drive-through or bumper-to-bumper traffic that genuinely isn't moving, and you're just sitting there, foot on the brake, car and drive, for 10, 15, 20 minutes. What's happening inside? Your torque converter is continuously circulating fluid under pressure and building heat with nowhere to go. Over time, that prolonged heat exposure breaks down the fluid chemistry and stresses the converter seals. If you're going to be stopped for more than a few minutes with no movement, just shift into park. It completely removes the load from the torque converter and lets everything cool down. Easy habit, no cost, no effort, just a gear shift. So there you have it. 8 habits that are slowly killing automatic transmissions all across the world every single day. And look, none of these fixes cost a single dollar. They're just awareness. That's it. The difference between a transmission that lasts 200,000 miles and one that dies at 90,000 is almost entirely how you treat it. If you found this useful, drop a like. It seriously takes 1 second, and it helps Automastery reach more drivers before they end up with that $4,000 piece of paper. And if you want to keep protecting your car the smart way, there's a video right here that covers the top engine-killing habits most people also don't know about. We'll see you in the next one. Drive smart.